Okay, so first thing we'll be going over are keyframes. Keyframes are a way to animate certain values of a layer or effects. As you can see right here, I have a white box, and it's this layer right here. If I press this down arrow right here, you see I have a bunch of different values that this box has. Anchor point, position, scale, rotation, and opacity. So if I change any of these values, something will happen to the box. You see the position and the scale, rotation, opacity. Now keyframes. What are keyframes? Keyframes, like I said, are a way to animate these values on the timeline. So if I put the box over here, press the stopwatch, move it around 3 seconds forward, and then move it over here, and there we go, the box is moving. Simple, right? Same thing works for any effect or value that has a stopwatch on here. If you want to put another keyframe, all you need to do is change the value, or you can press this square diamond thing right here and then change it. I'm gonna show it one more time for scaling. So if you wanted it to scale up, you just press the stopwatch, move forward a bit, move it up, and then render, and there we go. Simple as that. Yeah, that's pretty much keyframes. It's not much to it. It's pretty easy, but pretty much everything in After Effects is done through keyframes, so it's very important to know. It's pretty much one of the most important things to know in After Effects. Okay, so the next thing is the graph editor. Now the graph editor is used with the keyframes. So as you can see here, I have this box. It's moving from left to right in a very steady and slow motion. Now if you wanted this box to go maybe fast and slow, this is where the graph editor comes in. So what you do is highlight both keys and press F9. You can also right click and do easy ease, and we'll do the same thing. Okay, so now you can see it's kind of moving. In the start of it, it's moving up, it's going fast, then slow, then fast. This means it's easy eased pretty much. So now you press this button while these two are highlighted, while they're blue. Go in here. First, you will probably see something like this. What you want to do is go in here, edit speed graph. And then you see this is the motion, or this is the speed of the position pretty much. So you highlight it, and then these two handles is what you're going to be moving pretty much. Do not move them up or down, because that will fuck things up. So if I wanted it, for example, to go fast and slow, I'd move it like this. Move that one there, both to the left pretty much, and you have something like this. And now, as you can see, it will go fast and then slow. Now obviously this isn't the only way you can do it. There are many ways you can adjust this. You could, for example, do this. Now it's going to go slow, fast and slow like before, but much faster. Now the graph editor is basically used in this way to smooth out animations, because if you do not use the graph editor, things will be very stiff and it just won't look right, pretty much. Okay, so the next thing is pre-comping. Pre-comping is a way to combine layers in a very useful way. It's kind of hard to explain. It's basically like putting your layers in a folder which you can access at any time. So if we take this for example, I have this shape right here, and let's make another shape. I have it right here, and let's say I wanted to scale both of them up at the same time. So let's make 2 keyframes, and I'm scaling both up. As you can see, they scale independently, and that's not what you want. So what you would do is remove all the keyframes. I would right click, highlight both of them, right click and press pre-compose, and then always you want to tick this bottom one in and this one in, almost always. Yep. And now you see we have a pre-comp of these two shapes. These shapes are pretty much like one image right now. So now when we scale them up, they scale together. So this can be useful in many different ways. Like let's say for example, I have this text right here, and let's make this red, and let's say I wanted this text to be on this box. It should always be on the box. It's never going to be anywhere else. So what I can do is pre-comp it, and there we go. They're both together. Pre-comping can be used in many different ways, and this is only like the most basic thing. It can help you solve a lot of problems when editing. So yeah, it's up to you how you use it, but it's a tool you're gonna use a lot for sure. Next thing I'm gonna go over is masking. So masking is a tool in After Effects where you can, you mask something out of the frame. So let's say I just wanted half of this footage. I just wanted half of it to show. I would take the pen tool, click the layer, and then just make a box, and then boom, only half of it is showing. Now if I press M, that would open up the mask. So here I can feather the mask. We'll make it a bit softer, and mask opacity, mask expansion. So now that this is gone, I can pretty much put something else. If I put something underneath, you'll see the second clip underneath the first layer will show up. So with masking you can do like pretty much a million things. There's so much. I'm not gonna go over it all, but at least you know what it does. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is time remapping. So time remapping is pretty much remapping of time. Let's pretty simple. You can do slow motions, you can speed things up, you can, yeah, you pretty much change how time works on the clip. So first you need to put time remap, Control Alt T. Now we have time remap on. As you can see here, 2 keyframes comes up. This is the start of the clip and this is the end of the clip. So let's say you wanted to speed this clip up. As you can see, this is the clip. It's just a pan shot of Katarina. I'm actually gonna cut this here so it's just the clip. Yeah. So let's say you wanted to speed this clip up. You want to halve the speed. All you need to do is drag this to the center and then boom. Now the clip is half the speed. It's sped up pretty much. And you can do the opposite as well. Just gonna make this comp a little bit bigger. Let's say you wanted the clip in slow motion. Oh, it's almost double the size. And now the clip would take longer to play since it's longer. As you can see, the clip is much slower now, and I can't even render this in full, which is sad. So yeah, if you want to time remap this, as people do in edits most of the time, they usually do something like this. Cut the clip down, drag this over here. So now this is the whole clip cut down to 2 seconds, so it's sped up pretty much. So what you want to do is highlight both ECEs, go into graph editor. This time we'll be using value graph though, not speed graph, because it's just much easier to control. So you have both handles here again. This time you want to move this up, move this down, so we get this almost S shape. So now when we play it, you're gonna see it's gonna go from fast to slow to fast. Very smooth. It's pretty simple. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to show you is 3D tracking. Now, 3D tracking is a pretty cool tool which lets you 3D track your footage, and you can do a lot of cool shit with it. So what you do here is you need to have your tracker window up. If you don't have it up, go Windows, Tracker, and it will bring it up. Okay, I removed it now, but yeah. And yeah, so I'm just gonna cut this down. Oh yeah, when you do this, the footage has to be moving at all times. You can see right here, it's not moving, and then boom, yeah, here's where it's moving. So I need to cut it down to here. Press delete to remove that. I'm gonna cut it down a bit because this is pretty long. So yeah, see the camera's moving forward. So yeah, just click the layer and track camera, and then we wait. The amount of time this takes to finish depends entirely on your footage and how long it is. It could take 10 seconds, it could take 10 minutes. It entirely depends. Okay, as you can see, it's done. And there's a bunch of points on the footage. And this is pretty much what it has tracked. As you can see, they're all over the place. So you can right click one of these, create text and camera, create solid and camera, but we're not going to use that. I usually don't use this. The only time I would use this is if you want something stuck to a wall or something similar. It's quite good, but for this purpose we're not going to use it. So what you want to do is press create camera, and now we have our camera. And let's say you wanted some text floating in the middle of the map. Now I would create some text. And then we need to make this layer a 3D layer, or it won't work, since this is a 3D tracker camera. So right now there's no 3D layer option right here, so we need to press this, toggle switches and modes. There we go. This box means 3D layer. Take this box, and yeah, you see it's very big right now. And if we open position with P, and you can see this is a new value. This is the C depth value. This only works in 3D layers. So right now if we go through this, you can see it's floating in the air pretty much perfectly. But let's say you wanted it further back, you didn't want it this close to the camera. This is where this comes in. So I would increase the value and it would move this back, and bam, there it is. It's further back. It's pretty simple. That's pretty much it. It's not that much to the 3D camera. Yeah, it's 3D tracker. It's pretty simple. Obviously there are a lot more advanced things you can do with it, but this is pretty much the most basic thing you usually want to do with it. I'm also going to show these track points here. I can show you how these works as well. So let's say you wanted the text to be stuck on here. So you right click. You can do create text. I usually do solid though, because it just gives you more control, and if you want to change things it's just easier. So I create a solid. As you can see, the solid is now stuck to the wall. So if you create that text again, oh crap, just create that text again, test, make it 3D, and now what you want to do is open position, click the position, copy, click the test and paste, and boom. You can also hide the solid, it's not usable. Oh yes, you can also hide solid. We won't be needing that anymore. And as you can see, it's on the wall now. And if you also want the rotation from this, do the same thing, orientation, copy, paste. Now it's rotated on the wall. Pretty simple. Now if you wanted to change things, if you wanted another text, maybe you want an image there instead, all you need to do, delete this, and then just put the image or another text in or whatever, and do the same thing. Copy the position or the rotation or both. Pretty simple.